The Philippines and its lockdown baby boom. Rovelie Zabala is heavily pregnant with her 10th child. Carl, Jewel, as Rovelie names her children, 6-year-old Charlie shoots his mother a look of disapproval. Rovelie had 7 children before she learned about family planning, but this latest addition was a surprise conceived during one of the world's strictest lockdowns, which saw soldiers patrolling the streets in armored personnel carriers, police checkpoints restricting movement and only one family member allowed out to shop for food supplies. The lockdown also meant hundreds of thousands of women have been unable to access birth control, resulting in tales of unplanned pregnancies like Rovelie's being repeated across the country. Indeed, it is estimated an extra 214,000 unplanned babies will be born in the next year, according to projections by the University of the Philippines Population Institute and the United Nations Population Fund. Because the pandemic isn't the only reason why the Philippines has a population crisis on its hands, a closer look reveals a problem years in the making. The Philippine capital Manila is a city bursting at the seams, with 13 million people wedged between Manila Bay and the Sierra Madre mountain range. Experts argue that some of that poverty is directly attributable to the country's high birth rate, as research has shown a fertility rate of close to 2 children per mother, so that the population is neither growing nor shrinking, boosts a country's development by reducing the number of people born into poverty. In turn, a trimmed-down population receives a bigger slice of the national budget, improving sustainable resource use and life opportunities for all. Its poverty rate now stands at 10%, compared to the Philippines' 17%. Of course we are going to oppose it. Contraception, Father Jerome Cecilino, of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, tells me by video call. Despite the church's misgivings, the Philippines had been getting a handle on things, with Ernesto Pernia, President Rodrigo Duterte's former socio-economic minister, arguing that recent poverty reduction gains can be directly attributed to the government's stronger implementation of the 2012 Reproductive Health Law, RHL, which made sex education and contraception more freely available to the poor. We will lose the entire 4 years that we have been working on the program, says Juan Antonio Perez, Executive Director of Commission on Population and Development, POPCOM. Right now, you only have around 3 or 4 patients in 2 beds put together, Dr. Diana Cajape tells us. The virus is not just causing a numbers problem though. Last month the hospital had to temporarily close after 7 of the residents and a nurse tested positive. At such close quarters, it is not hard to see how quickly the virus would travel. The hospital management are hoping a new building will provide more bed space, but, as yet, it is still unfinished. There is no doubt in Mr. Pernia's eyes that the long-term cost of the baby boom will be even more intergenerational poverty, the poor giving birth to children the system simply can't handle. But COVID-19 has also put a huge strain on an already stretched national budget, which will cause further problems. President Duterte is a keen advocate of family planning, Mr. Pernia says, but is more focused on the drugs and the corruption, alluding in part to a bloody, violent crackdown on drug users and dealers. The RHL has also had to face down lawsuits from charities allied to the Catholic Church, resulting in the morning after pill remaining illegal and family planning measures being denied to minors unless they have parental consent. It is notable that the Philippines has the second highest teen pregnancy rate in Southeast Asia. The Catholic Church denies the claims leveled against it, urging the government to do more to address the country's rich-poor divide. It's always good for these heretics to blame the church for the failures of this so-called reproductive health system, says Father Jerome Cecilino. With the situation we have right now, what will condoms do to the people who are mired in poverty? Rovelie knows nothing but the poverty these men talk about. But she also knows the Catholic Church, and its teachings on contraception and abortion. Wiping away tears, Rovelie says she's concerned about her children's prospects. As we speak, people scatter as a police patrol car bumps along a muddy road, looking for a drug dealer. Now the COVID-19 pandemic has driven the Philippine economy into recession, opportunities here are bleaker than ever. Sometimes when I get angry and lose my temper, I tell them what if I just put them up for adoption for rich people so that they'll be able to have proper schooling,